Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of our Secure Dental podcast. And today we have a very special treat here. And we have Dr. Tarek Aly. He is a periodontist or was a periodontist. And currently he is owner and co-founder of several dental organizations. So without me stealing any of the thunder from him, I will let him introduce and give a brief background about where he came from, what is he doing, and the whole nine yard in between. So Dr. Ali, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. First of all, I am very grateful to be on your lovely and insightful podcast. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. My name is Tarek Aly, and I used to be a periodontist in a previous life. And then I went to rehab and recovered. Oh, I'm joking. I enjoyed the dental world. It started with my parents wanting me to be a doctor like them. And if you know anything about Egyptian parents, you don't negotiate with them. They say you got to be a doctor, and you say, "Aye, aye, Captain. I will be a doctor." And then later, I really fell in love with the profession. It's such an amazing profession. You make a difference in people's lives every day. I wasn't a big fan of the clinical world. I was more in love with the marriage between the business and the clinical, how to make an impact in so many people's lives and not just the patients you see every day. So I started building and buying dental practices. I co-own about 94 dental offices between multiple DSOs, built and bought multiple practices over the years. I'm also a coach, and I'm very involved in the DSO space. You'll see some of my work out there, and I'm very grateful to be here with you guys.
I love it. So when did this dental journey of yours start? Let's take us back in time when, before pre-dental school.
Yeah, so it started actually in Egypt. I grew up in Egypt,
Nice.
and I went to dental school in Egypt, and I realized how much of a difference we actually do as dentists in people's lives. It's not just a healthy smile. It's a lot more than that. And that difference, what you make in people's lives, have really impacted me to a deeper core, which I made it a mission to impact as many lives as I can possibly can. And that's where the dental journey started.
Got it. So you were a dentist in Egypt then before you came here, correct?
That's right. Yes, I was a dentist in Egypt first, and then I came here. And after I've done my board exams and all the fun stuff, I started the business journey after an MBA and a CVA and a bunch of useless business degrees. They're not useless. I'm joking. Uh, I love that marriage between business and dentistry. It was such a lovely journey.
So you came here and then you went to dental school again, correct?
Yes, came here, did my board exams, and then I realized, is this really what I want to do? Is to be in the chair? I thought it definitely makes a difference to be more impactful, to impact a lot more lives than just the patients you see every day. As a dentist, you can impact 10 to 20 to 50 patients a day, but as scaling up your business and scaling up your dental practice or practices, you can impact 200, 500, 2,000 patients a day.
Love it. Love it. So from dental school, you became a periodontist. And then from there, what made you decide at that time that, hey, you want to get an MBA done and then you want to do the business side of dentistry? How long into the clinical world, like you would say roughly about what, a few years, a decade?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years is when I realized that we are lacking so much in entrepreneurship coming out of dental school.
Oh,
They
yes.
teach you how to be an amazing clinician, but you really don't know how to run a business. You don't know how to read a P&L. You don't know how to do marketing. You don't know how to actually be a leader in your organization. In dental school, you're working solo, impacting that specific patient, but you don't know how to work with assistants. You don't know how to work with front office. You don't know how insurances work. You don't know the holistic approach. So I
Right.
realized that there's so much to learn, and we only know a slither of it.
So is that why you went and did your MBA after you became a dentist, or was it you done it before?
Yes, that's the reason. I was always a big fan of business and understanding the bigger
Right.
picture. But then I realized that we are so defective in the business world, in the dental community.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I thought, hey, what about an MBA?
I love it. I love it. So tell me something real quick here. You said something about scaling, right? And we're going to fast forward into a little bit about the current situation. Why scale? I mean, like one of the aspects you said that, yes, you want to affect patients' lives, right? But you got to have a bigger why of taking up so much challenges and so many of those, entrepreneurial sleepless nights. Why scale, in your opinion?
So scaling, there's a lot more aspects to providing quality of care.
Mm,
When you are in your practice seeing patients every day, I can guarantee you that the patients have different experiences, different times of the day, and different days of the week. Not every patient that walks in your door has the same exact experience. A Monday morning patient could have a different experience than the Friday afternoon patient. And that comes because of a lot of other factors like your mood, your front office person's mood, your dental assistant had a fight this morning with their spouse, so their patient experience is different. So, how to create consistent patient experience on a scale for every single patient? You treat every patient like they're president of this country. You treat every
love it.
single patient like your parents or your family members that are coming, and you want them to feel proud of you, the work that you're doing. So you treat every patient like extreme VIP. How to create that experience on a bigger version
Right.
for every patient? That's what scaling is about.
And what is a mindset behind it? Like when you are doing something like that, the task is so big at hand that it really becomes almost people think in their minds like, hey, it's so impossible. I can do it in a single practice, but how do I replicate into 94 practices?
It's definitely hard. I'm sure you've heard the term standard of care. Well, big newsflash: standard of care is never standard. There's always these discrepancies. Do you know that 150,000 Americans die each year in surgeries? And do you know that 75,000 of them, 50% of them, die because of avoidable human errors? Things like someone didn't wash their hands properly, or they brought the wrong blood type, or they didn't do an allergy test before. So we think we do the same. That's why we have checklists and systems and processes,
Okay.
and that's why industries like aviation and construction have a very, very high accuracy rate because they have standardization. So it is hard, but it's doable. We can learn from other industries. And I can guarantee you today, if you do mystery shopping and go to any dental office, not just one location or 5 or 15 or 20, even in just one small practice, standard of
Mhm.
care is not standard. And we have to work constantly, day in, day out, to standardize that care.
You said you're a pilot too, right?
Yes, I fly, and I love aviation. It's a miracle in our time.
Who would know better than you what a checklist would be, correct?
I love checklists. I have checklists for everything. Yes.
No, I love it. I love it. So in terms of mindset, now I want to get a little bit deeper in your head. When you're managing these practices, number one, like a lot of people ask is, when they're coming out of dental school, they're like, hey, I want to open up a DSO. And I want to do like how the DSOs are doing. I want to own multiple practices. What's your experience and your take for guys like these that, who just want to rush out of school and just get into dentistry and not having anything in terms of business, right? And they just want to open up practices. What is a mindset behind you that what you did in your experience, and what would you tell for a younger generation that wants to come out and do the same thing?
Well, first of all, we have to celebrate that ambition. A
Okay.
lot of times I see leaders in the community putting down these thoughts and saying, hey, you can't do it, or it's hard, or it's doable. The
Hmm.
ambition is admirable. Let's keep that fire going.
Love it.
First step is the mindset. Then, second is it's okay to realize that we are defective. A lot of times I look in the mirror and I say, you suck. And it's okay to suck. It's fine. We don't have to know everything. We definitely don't know everything. And it's okay to suck. But what's not okay It's to keep sucking and to not improve, right? So
Mm,
step one, the mindset, let's have that ambitious, optimistic, I can do attitude. Step two is it's okay to realize we are defective. There are so many things we don't know that we need to know. And then let's say you want to start a DSO or you want to start a business. The first ever step you need to do is the mission, the strategy, the mission, vision, core values, objectives, and goals. That's the first step. Why
love
do
it.
you want to do this? How are you going to do this? What's your core values? What are your objectives? Objectives can be like, hey, I want to be the best employer in town, or I want to see that many specialties, or I want to serve this many patients, or I want to have $10 million when I by the time I turn this old. So let's set this clear. And I know it sounds cliche and everybody talks about, oh, you got to have your mission. It is very essential and a key component. Step one, mission, vision, core values, objectives, and goals. Step two, well, you got to have the how to do that, right? So we have to create processes and systems. What am I going to do? What's the patient experience going to look like? Do you have a patient
Mm,
experience checklist? When a patient walks in the door, do you have a checklist that tells you exactly what you're going to be doing? Do you have a team member checklist for every single team member uh, to tell them what to do? Do you have your KPIs and all the metrics to assess the health of your systems and processes? Step three, build a strong team. You're not alone. We're never going to do everything. You have to have a strong team, even stronger than you are. A good leader has a stronger team than even themselves.
love it.
And then five, so mission, vision, objectives and goals, systems and processes and standardizing them, building a strong team, track the KPIs, and then secure financing. Because remember, it's not gonna fund itself, right? You're gonna have to fund it
Right.
somehow. It's not we don't live in a dream world. We live in reality. And if you don't have the money to fund it, well, guess what? It's just gonna be an idea in your head, and you'll live and die with that idea without it being materialized.
So for funding, what is the best strategy? Like there are so many avenues out there, right? And number one, everybody picks bank debt first and foremost. Would you ever decide into doing like a fundraising or maybe capital raising or something along those lines where you get like some equity firm involved, or would you just strictly stick with friends and family and banks?
So there's no right or wrong answer here. The answer, it depends. So if let's say you and I are going to start a DSO together.
Mm-hmm.
If the mission is to have 10 locations with 5 different specialties in 2 different states, we're going to approach funding completely different than if we're going to do one location, let it grow and prosper, and then build a second location or buy it and let it grow and prosper and so forth. You can do self-funding, you could do bank funding, you can do private equity. All that depends on the mission. For first timers, those who are starting fresh, work for a few years as an associate, build some cash reserves, learn the know-how, work on your mission and all the systems and KPIs, and then you can go to the bank and they will gladly lend you based on your debt to income
Mm.
ratio and all that fun stuff, your covenants.
How is one practice versus like having a mindset of opening up multiple practices, and why different?
Yeah, so it has to do with your mission. So for me, for example, I wanted to have the highest amount of impact on so many communities in the lowest possible time. I've realized in some cases we had patients that didn't even have shoes and they barely had enough means to come to the practice. And in other cases, they were in high end communities where they can afford all the treatment. So
Mm.
I realized that if I'm going to make an impact, I really needed the scale or the volume. That was my mission. The mission is let's impact as many people as we possibly can. Others are different. Some of my friends are more on the higher end stuff. They want to do the big cases, the implants and all that. Some are more of the transformational thing. I want to take patients from zero to hero. So it depends. For scale, to answer your question, I think the most important piece here is once you define the mission and how you're going to do this, how are you going to fund it makes a big difference. So now you may need to go to a private lending, finding a private equity group or whatever it is, private money, because they will be less inclined to be sticklers with your covenants and more believing in your mission. It's kind of
Selling
like
a dream,
investing.
kind of, right?
That's right. Yes. They believe in your dream. So they would be more inclined to take the risk with you.
Love it. So as we start our journey, we are first entrepreneurs. We put everything on a line. We spend our last dollar, right? We have those sleepless nights. Then we transition to becoming an operator where we are the ones who's treating patients clinically and we are on the chair. If we're not on the chair, we are not making any cash flow. And then from there, I kind of think about it this way, like from there, then you would transition to becoming owners, where now we have associates working and then we become owners, right? And from there, I think another transition after that would be becoming investors and being completely out of it. So with your expertise, is there like a goal or a timeline where one needs to proceed in order to scale? Because many of our dentists, we get stuck into the operational area and we never seem to get out of it, right? And we are always trying to micromanage every single thing. So in order for us to scale, there's no way we can be on the chair and managing and doing the whole thing. How would you differentiate that and how would you set it aside, like with people and processes? What would you do?
Yeah. So, going back to the mission, if my mission is to actually get off the chair and be
Mm-hmm.
a CEO of the DSO, then there's a path to that. And that path, believe it or not, is well defined. We just have obstacles towards it, but it's well defined. Let's say my mission is to have 5 locations within a 2-hour radius to serve 3 different specialties, certain patient demographic, certain PPO to cash mix. I have it clear in my head. First, I work as a dentist. I'm delivering the care myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very well aware of the micro level of patient care and the macro level, because at that time, you're in the beginning, when you're 1, 2 locations, you're still doing almost everything. You're the CEO, you're the clinical director, you're this dentist, and you're the conflict resolution guy, you're everything. And then there's going to be this shift it's a paradigm shift between the operator to a business owner. You're still a
Mm,
business owner and you still have that mentality, but you're distracted. You're working 8 hours a day. You barely have a life, and your kids are asking like, "Hey, why did dad didn't come to the baseball game?" So you're all
right.
these things, and at some point you're gonna have to make that transition to get off the chair. And the reason they're the biggest obstacle to getting off the chair is financial. Most dentists
Right.
are high income earners. They make good money being on the chair. So to get off the chair, now they go from making X from being a dentist to making Y being a business owner, which is 10 to 20% profit from the office. So there's this drop financially. And that's the biggest reason why most
Mm.
dentists don't get off the chair. And believe it or not, there's a program or there's a path to get you off the chair slowly without necessarily impacting your financial well-being.
And that's where I think you say like scaling comes in, that you gotta scale at that time.
If the business is making profits and it's healthy and it's growing, there's going to be a little bit of a dip, but it's not going to be that big of a dip if it's running well. And now you can be a true CEO. Let me share something real quick about my journey for the fact of learning about success. I didn't understand what success means, because coming from Egypt in the Eastern world
Mm,
to the Western world, whenever you ask someone in America what constitutes success, why do you think this person is successful? Immediately they're going to start thinking about financial stuff, like, oh, cars, houses, whatever it is,
right.
right?
Right.
Because I think that's the typically how people perceive success. What I realized is, from observing different cultures, there is 6 factors to life success. There's family life, there's love life, there's health and fitness, mental and physical. There is social life, spiritual life, whether you believe in something or you don't, whether you practice religion or you don't, and there's reasonable financial prosperity. and each one of these have KPIs. So we focus a lot on the material financial success and think this is it, but we're disregarding,
All
your
the others.
exactly, your kids are not going to be 5 anymore. Your wife is not going to wait on you to have that date while you're finishing up with patients, and your friends that are always inviting you to stuff are going to stop inviting you to stuff because you never show up. They call you and you never show up. So you're like, you know what? I'm not going to call you anymore. So factoring all that, you're going to realize, hey, I really need to get off the chair sooner. I really need, it's okay if I take a little bit of a financial dip, but I'm going to get off the chair, scare my business, and I will have a better holistic life that I can call success.
So with the multiple dentists that you consulted in the past, what is there a certain kind of personality that they will do that, or is it something? Is there a trend, or is there like a process that anybody can do?
What I noticed, those who are clear on the mission and have the willingness to pursue it are the ones typically that reach that goal easier. So studies have shown that those who have a goal tend to get closer to it than those who don't. So let's say someone wants to lose weight or want to run a marathon or whatever it is, those who have the goal set are closer to achieving it than others.
So when somebody's starting off, should they always have like a location number in mind, or like an EBITDA number in mind, or like a revenue number in mind, or should they just start and see where it goes? What would be your take on it?
Absolutely. It costs nothing to dream. It costs nothing to put a goal sheet together. It costs nothing to do a vision board. You can laugh at it in the beginning when you're like, oh no, I just graduated. How in the world am I going to have 10 locations? Yes, you can make fun of it. You can laugh at it, but that goal sheet you're going to look at 5 years from now and say, I am so glad I did this. I'm so glad I did this. You tend to overstate or over believe in your 1 year goals, and you tend to understate your 5 year goals. You're always going to crush your 5 year goals, but most likely you're going to not meet your 1 year goals. So be realistic, but also dream, and you will get closer than those who didn't.
I love it. I love it. And I got a last question for you, right? It's about, a lot of people talk about work-life balance, right? And for me, it's always been like, as we are doing our offices, it's always about work-life priorities at that time. Like, what's more priority? So I know a lot of times, like you just mentioned, I've neglected my kids, I've neglected my friends, and it's hard, right? And as an entrepreneur, you're like always hustling and bustling. What's your take and what's your advice?
So I created a spreadsheet with a checklist and KPIs.
I love it.
I called it
checklist for everything.
Exactly. And I called it factors of life success. And I actually put these parameters in there. Family life, what does that look to me? How many times I see my parents? How many times I call my family? Love life. How many dates have you gone with your wife or partner without kids? How many gifts have you given them? When you look at others, like social life, I have a chess club chess group, aviation group, kayaking group, what I call the deep thinking group or the investor group. So do you prosper and nourish these relationships? And the reasonable financial prosperity, which is how much am I making passive income? How much am I making active income? What's my borrowing power? What's my net worth? And I put the current status versus the ideal case scenario, and with steps how to get there. That was the way I did it. I'm not saying that I highly recommend this to everybody, but it worked for me.
I got to give it to you. I mean, you're like co-founder and owning so many different practices. Then you have consulting business, and you're a dad with triplets. I mean, it's like when I think about it, I'm like, hey, man, I want to grow up just to be like him.
Well, my triplets are for sale. Buy one, get two free. Free shipping. I have a checklist at home with KPIs and everything.
No, exactly. So what kind of service do you provide as a DSO consultant?
So one of my businesses is a consulting business. So we, with Charles Moser, we have this group called the Dental Science Alliance, and it's basically multiple coaches, 20 coaches in multiple disciplines of dentistry. So with a subscription based,
Is that launched now?
it is launched, yes, and it's active. And we have, by the way, we have 100% retention rate. So all of our clients are, stayed and are happy. Basically, they sign up
Nice.
and they can have sessions with multiple coaches: HR, IT, procurement, compliance, operations, whatever it is. So that's one of them. There's another also company called the DSO Academy, which is an online platform for courses. So they, a member can join in and they can take courses online.
So what kind of
Um,
courses are they?
Multiple different ones. So there's operations, there is HR, there is things about clinical, just conversion rates and things like that, closing cases.
Oh, wow.
Also different experts in the fields, and the really the quality of the courses are really good. Like it's masterclass quality.
Nice. Nice. Now, is that something you founded as well
Yeah, co-founded with Gary Bird. Gary Bird's my partner. Amazing,
from
amazing guy.
SMC, right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay, good.
yes, fantastic human.
No, I love it. I just love the energy that you have and that you bring to the industry. It's such an amazing feeling. Like, just talking to you, it's like I know you for like years, and it's an amazing. You got an amazing personality. So, hey, Tarek, lastly, anything you would like to give, like a tip or a takeaway for our young dentist?
Yeah. So, mission, vision, core values, objectives, and goals. Always have
Mm,
goals. Dream big. Two is invest in yourself. Be a good leader. There's no way you can grow in life without being a great leader. Work on work life harmony. I don't call it work life balance because they're not always equal. Work life harmony, and make sure that you go towards your goal every day. And remember, education is everything. There are some amazing books out there. Go to DSO conferences or go to dental conferences, read books, network with those who have gone your path, and you'll do amazing. Believe in yourself.
I love it. I love it. Tarek, if you don't mind, I would love to have you back again, like, later on in the future. I mean, you
Absolutely.
have so much to share. So amazing. Thank
I
you so
would
much
love
for
to.
coming on.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
having me.
much.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be landing the plane now. So again, appreciate Tarek coming along out of his busy schedule. And, make sure to like and subscribe. And we'll have the link for him for his DSO Academy as well as the Dental Health Alliance. And if you have any questions, hit me up. All right. Thank you very much.